Okay, I guess we're live in YouTube. Good afternoon, everyone. We will start in a minute. Okay, good afternoon, traders. Welcome to this special webinar. I wasn't expecting to see many people on because it's kind of like out of schedule from what we do. But glad that you made it. And I hope you can share the link of this webinar afterwards. So for those of you who are on YouTube as well, welcome, because I don't see your comments anymore. Let's go. So today's webinar, I want to tell you more about our group, what we do, and if you're interested in taking the course, you can. And at the end, I'll take some questions and I'll show you probably a few updates that we have, right? So I guess most of you came here, you already know where you're coming from, right? Because we had it. So first, let me go with our group. So for those of you who are interested in joining the group, we have a Slack group. We're at Slack where when you join the group, you get access to everything that is inside Slack. What is inside the Slack group? Inside the Slack group, we have channels where you can see different things. We have where you can use one channel to get the links for the daily webinars. You can look at posts people are pasting, charts where people can continuously post charts that they see, setups that traders themselves see that is available. You have a channel for cryptocurrencies where traders who trade cryptocurrencies discuss that. You have one for commodities, and you have the trading room. Our trading room, I think, is what most of you are interested in, right? So let me explain what the trading room is. It's not a signal service room. You don't come in there and get signals. You actually learn to trade and use the trading room to make trades. So basically, it's traders who have completed the course will go in there. They will show what they see. They will discuss trade setups. They will discuss trades. They will even discuss a chart that they're looking at. And then, basically everybody learns from that process. It will be mostly senior traders who've completed the course and already successful. And sometimes traders who are learning now will come and say, okay, I see this. Can you tell me if it's correct? And they will present. We will make them the presenter. It's a room where anybody can be presenter. So anybody can take the channel and actually show their screen, show what they see. And every now and then you will get traders, more senior traders will come in and they will show weekly trade setups, daily trade setups. They will show charts. And I think even yesterday, one of them was telling me they were showing trades that are going to be taking very soon. If there's a live trade happening, traders will take the trade, right? And if nothing is happening, they will just discuss some charts that they have. So basically the structure is you get into a group, which is our Slack group. From there, you will get access to the trading room. From there, you will get access to my daily webinar. From there, you get access to charts that traders post. And you also have the general chat room where you can chat. And there's much more in there. I don't want to go through every single thing that we have in there, right? Basically, the webinar is where every morning, 8 a.m. London time, I would come in and I would show what I see in the charts. What setups I see with more details on it, like, okay, this is the pattern we're looking at, and we expect this pattern to behave this way. So watch for this possible trade setup. If there's a trade happening, we can even take the trade, right? During the day, if there's a high impact news event and we're planning and we're going to be trade during that time, you will find me in the trading room more often. If nothing is happening, it's a quiet day, then I'll probably go in and do a Q&A. So in the trading room, you'll find me often. If either I'm doing a Q&A, which means traders who have questions, traders who completed the course and have questions, they can always come in, bring their questions, I will answer it. That happens once or twice a week, which is you get regular updates and things. You get to answer their question. We don't just leave you. We don't give you a set of videos and leave you. We actually follow up in what you do. all the trainers in our group, which we have about 10 trainers or more, those are the people who will keep following you in a close day-by-day basis, see how you're doing, right? If you have questions, you can always go to them. If you have something you're not sure of, you can go to them. You can take it to the trading room and you can have it, explained to you. If it's too difficult and you want to, question you really want to ask, when I'm in the trading room, you can always ask me. So there are times when I come in and nobody has questions. I'll be honest with you. I come in and said, okay, guys, questions, and nobody has any questions. We'll just pick any charts and work in it sometimes. So it's not like every day everybody's going to have a bunch of questions. When questions come up, then I come in and we do them. For the training session, the training session itself goes like this. First week is webinars, class, which is what I do live. The second week, you get training on the first week of work that we did. The first week of work that we did, you get training on that. In the second week, live training, which is meaning you get to show your screen. We make you the presenter. You're in a very small group of 10 to 12 people. We make you the presenter. One of our senior traders will be there to guide you, see that you're doing it correct. You make mistakes, he'll correct you, and you move on. You will learn from that. The third week, we have classes again, which I do live classes. The fourth and fifth week, you have practice sessions on what you have done, the first, second, third, fourth week, and everything. You get 2 weeks of practice session. On the sixth week, we have a Q&A on the course. It's a Q&A on the course, which means all the questions that you have that weren't answered during that 5 weeks, you can bring them to me and I'll answer them. Difficulties, you're practicing, you're getting difficulties in this chart, you cannot figure out this, you don't understand this. So it's 1 week of Q&A every day, 1 hour. So these are daily sessions, 1 hour, 2 hours. The classes are 1, 2 hours, the sessions are 1, 2 hours. Sessions are 2, 3 hours sometimes, right? So these are daily, they work from 5 days a week. But sometimes Saturdays and Sundays, the trainers are there helping you still. Basically, that is how it works. So 1 week of question and answers, you bring everything you have and you get to do it. During every course, when we are getting practice session in the second week and the fourth week, I plan what you call marathon. It means a day from somewhere around 8 a.m. to about 8 p.m., depending, it varies. Sometimes it's 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., depending on how many people sign up. Sometimes it's even more than that. So that is where we're going to have half-hour sessions of practice for those who have completed the course. So if you're one of the people who completed the previous course and you want more practice, which means you've reached a certain level, you can figure out things, everything is not clear to you, you want more practice, then you get to do that practice directly with me. This entire time, you do the practice session with me. So that means if you're making any mistakes, I will correct you and then you go on. Right? So every time you have practice sessions for those who are taking the course the first time, you get practice for those who have completed the course also. And it doesn't matter when you completed the course. You could complete the course 3 years ago and you think you need some more help. Okay, you come do a marathon with me. Basically, that's not so. We do hardly get people who are 2 or 3 years that needs practice. Mostly they already know what they're doing. And then we go on. During all this time, during and after every classes, we normally do polls, see how our traders are doing, what their success are. And then those who are not successful, we would ask them to call me or call one of the traders to do a one-on-one. What that means, if for the last 2 months, you're not seeing success. Actually, we have a rule. If you're below 30%, 20, 30% on drawdown on your account or loss on your account, you better call one of us. Stop trading and call one of us. We have to correct what you're doing. That's a rule. Not everybody follows the rule, I can tell you that. Because when traders do call me for one-on-one, is when they're really deep down in the water, right? Some of them have made very big losses. Some of them are even losing a small account and they're planning on opening a new account, whatever. And then they will call me, only then. That's when it's pretty late. We try to get them to do it earlier. And that's when I will correct what they're doing. I would look at all the trades they take. We will look at the analysis of the trades. We look at how they implement that trade they correct the mistakes they make, and then put them on a plan. I will actually give them a specific plan because for every trader is different. You will find that one trader is over trading too much. I will give him a plan to trade less. There's traders who were not clicking enough trades. They take like 2 trades a week and they're not seeing success. They're, they one of the 2 trades they lose, or sometimes they lose both trades and then they think it's going bad. I put them in a plan to trade daily, which means I give them to trade more. There are traders who are over risking. They're not going with a balance. They're risking 5-6% per trade. When they win 1 or 2%. When they lose 5-6%. I put them in a different regime to trade, right? Go 0.5 every trade, but take enough trades so you can see the results. So every trader is having their difficulties by themselves, and then we look at it. I correct what they're doing and said, okay, go, you do this now specifically. Come back to me after 2 months. Basically, that's what we do. We follow up with you. We make sure that if you're very serious and you want to be successful, we are here to help you in that, on your track to getting success. And there's an entire group of people who are successful, who are doing well, 60% of which are making money good. You can always go to them with a question and they're going to help you. A lot of the other traders during the time when we don't have courses, and we have courses 2 or 3 times a year, they're getting help from the other traders inside the room as well. So pretty much that's what the trading group does. That's what we do in terms of trading. Once you pay, you only pay for the course, you join. After that, everything is absolutely free. Everything I just explained to you there is absolutely free. You don't have to pay for it, and you have lifetime access to that. Until you learn, we're not hoping you're going to use that your whole life. We're hoping that with less than a year, you're already successful, and you will be helping other people who need the help within the group. The reason we make it free to stay. Most groups, if you look trading groups, right? One of the things they do is if you want to stay on, you have to pay $100 a month, $50 a month, $200 a month. Literally, I was paying $200 a month to be in a group where I learned to trade. And I ran from there very fast because I realized it's not helping me. First, I was learning support and resistance, which didn't work. And secondly, I don't know why I was paying $200 because it wasn't helping anything, right? You really don't get all those personal things we do. All the things that I just explained was what I would like somebody to do with me when I was learning to trade. Were things I was asking people to do. Can you do this for me? I'll pay you for it. Nobody wanted to do what I was asking you. Can you watch me show you my screen and you correct what I'm doing? No trader, none of the people that I approached that when I was learning trading to do that, none of them wanted to do it. I can even name some of them. None of them, not a single trainer wanted to look at me doing it and correct what I do. They didn't want to do it. They never did it. And I don't think a lot of traders are doing that anyway. A lot of trainers are doing that anyway. You can correct me, but if there's anybody doing that, I'll be really happy to know. Maybe one of the few people who have been trained by me and copy what I do and trying to do it out there. They don't do that. They don't allow you to get the training, to show your screen and then correct where you're making mistakes. Well, because if you don't have a very proven system, that wouldn't work, right? So that's the way we train you. We allow you to do it, and then we watch what you're doing and we correct what you're doing. If I'm in the room, if I'm in the trading room and somebody say, I have a question, I can say, okay, do you want the screen? Do you want the presentation? Or are you sending the question? Most times traders accept. They take the presentation, they show me what they're thinking. Because when I see what you're doing, I see your thought process. You're explaining how you see the pattern, how you analyze the chart, and I can see where you're making your mistakes, where you're thinking, where your thought process is different from what it should be. Why were you seeing it this way? Where did you make the mistakes? Maybe you're not making mistakes, you're just not seeing what I am seeing, and then we correct how you should see it, what you should look for in the charts. Maybe you're missing out some things. All of that we do so that you can analyze the chart as the way I do it. That's basically what we do. We train you to do that. And then we teach you all the strategies we use to trade. We teach you how to manage money. We teach you how to manage risk and all of those stuff. And those are not secret stuff. Actually, if you want to know how to manage risk and manage your money, it's out on my YouTube video. I have those. They're pretty much what we teach traders to do. Those are not big secrets. It's mostly how to analyze the chart that is important, where traders get it wrong. And then you have lifetime access until you can be successful in a group like that. And then we hope that you stay around and help somebody else. Everybody, becomes successful. With 60% success, I think we're doing great. The average out there is 90% of traders losing money. So I think we're doing great. And that's a stat we take. We take those stats. They're there. Traders here who are in my group, they hear me repeat it. So it's not something I'll just, pull out of nowhere, right? There are a couple of well traders here I can see from my group, so I know I know they know what they can actually prove what I'm saying is it, right? But it's up to you. So if you're interested in taking the course, and a lot of questions I got when I said we are doing a course in November, it will be from the 19th of November. So you still have time to join. It's easy if you want to join. So let me just say that now, because traders may want to ask me immediately. You just have to send me a message on Skype. My Skype is this. We'll look at some charts just now. That's why I want to get over this. I really don't like doing this, so I just did it because there are too many questions. So it's MANGAL 457. Send me a Skype message. I will send you the details of the course. So again, and I'll send you the details for payment. That is if you want to join, right? You want to think about it. What are the criteria for you to join? You must know the basic stuff. So we are taking traders who have about a year experience learning the basic stuff already, because I don't want traders in there who don't know basic stuff. If you don't know it, you will not follow the course. So if you're one of those traders, you don't have enough experience, you haven't got a year experience as yet, you don't know the basic stuff, what I would advise you to do is go on, don't buy any course anywhere, because it wouldn't help you. You will not be successful by that. Just go learn all the basic stuff free out there. There's a lot of free stuff you can get out there. Learn all that stuff. Read the Elliott Wave book. Everybody asks me, what's the Elliott Wave? It's the principles of Elliott Wave. Now, we do not use those principles in there. Let me just get this very clear, because people always ask me, label a chart. We do not use the labeling system and the principles that are in that book. We only use the names of the patterns that are there, because those patterns were identified not by us. Those patterns were identified by Elliott, and we decide he deserves the credit for them. So the same names of the patterns we're using. We only give names to patterns that he has not identified, and we have only identified about 2 or 3 of those patterns that he has not identified very clearly in his work, that is different from what he has in his work. If they're very similar, we leave it as it is. If they're different, we have seen a few of those patterns, and we give them names, basically, so you can understand. Our labeling system is slightly different, because if you follow the rules Elliott has in the book, the very same rules he put down, and you go in the chart, you will not find a lot of those. They will not fit. And I'm not in the mood of fixing it to make it work, right? I want to make sure it's working. Some of those rules, if you try to follow them, you will not find a good impulse. Now, this may be very conflicting out there. A lot of traders are going to come in and say, what the hell are you talking about? Please, don't waste your time. I know Elliott Wave worked very good. I've studied it. I know it very good. I know all the rules. So let's not get into an argument with that. That's one of the first things traders learn when they come in my group. They start seeing structure very clear because of the way we look at structure. Most Elliott Wavers who even draw their stuff out there literally don't even understand what they're doing themselves. Because I look at the work. I'm always curious to understand what's going on out there. So that's the first thing. The number one thing I did when I went after the course is I asked traders, have you benefited from it? Can you see structures better? And every single one of them that is in that webinar will say yes, because they've started seeing structures different. That's the main thing. So that's what we teach you to, and then we teach you how to trade it. If you're interested, join us. Let's see. We can take some questions. It is. And you're not in my group, I think, right? That is very difficult to do. We have a lot of ASIF in the group, by the way, but I don't remember, unless you're using another name in the back there as a rum man, because we don't have an ASIF rum man in our group, right? It is difficult. If you follow the rules, you can't find. But what most Elliott Wavers out there, or what they will call themselves Elliott Wavers, what they would do is they'll fix it. Even if there isn't 5 waves there, they will find 5 waves. And it's kind of a voodoo thing. It doesn't really work that way. There's no need. One guy was fixing it in the Aussie for me, right? And I said, no, you're wrong. That's 3 waves, not 5 waves. So basically, if you guys have questions, I'll take some questions, and we can look at some charts. Can pay with installment. Basically, this is not my basic thing, right? I don't have a big, I don't have a big setup as to train traders. I don't have this big, real fancy setup where I'm trying to make this my main business. It's not my main business. So I don't have a team of people doing this. I don't have advertisement I don't have any advertisement out there. It's just me. So it's better if you make one installment payment. And here's why the one installment is important, because you need capital to trade. If you don't have capital of more than 5,000 to trade with, then you should not take the course. Right? Because then if you take the course and you learn this stuff, you still don't have money to trade. It's a waste of your time and a waste of our time. Because the value we are giving you is much more than you're getting. Right? You can't pay for this course if we are going to charge you for what you're getting in the course. I'm not kidding you. If you're in my room for 2 years and you count the amount of hours I'm with you, not when I'm not in the room. I'm not even counting the 24-hour trading. I'm just counting the hours that I am with you in the room, and you have to pay me per hour what you think I deserve to earn per hour. You can't pay for the course. Because I'm in that room every single day, minimum 1 hour, sometimes up to 4 hours. Every single day. You try to pay me for that, for the hours I'm with you. Not counting the one-on-one, not counting all the marathons, not counting all the Q&A. If you have to pay me for all that, you really can't do it. If you don't have 2005 to pay, you can't pay for the rest of it. Right? So the 2005 is more symbolical. It's not you're paying me for that. Time-wise, you can't pay me. I'm not even talking about the work itself. It's like you hire somebody to work at a security at your house. You have to pay him for the hours he's working. Right? Just basic hour payment, regardless of what he's doing. You take somebody to clean your house, you have to pay them for the hours they're working, whether you're satisfied with the work or not. So we're not going even to where the work is, what quality of work you're getting, and how much it's going to change your view in your life. I'm just saying, basically, if you have to pay me for the hours that I'm with you while you're in my group, you cannot afford it. Basically, just take an hour a day for 300 days or 350 days. How much would you like to pay me per hour? Anybody, just put any price you would like. How much do you think I deserve per hour to get? Put any price. You know how much you pay people who work for you. And just multiply that by 300 and something. That's only for 1 year. And then everything else you still get free, right? So basically, you see what we're doing here is different from what you're getting out there. So you're not paying for much here. You're paying just symbolical. The rest, everything is pretty free because we want you to be successful. Right? So that's it. Any questions? Let's go. Let's get the questions going. What questions you may have? Yes, happy belated Diwali to all of you too. The course is starting on the 19th. Today is only the 7th. You have a lot of time to contact me, get all the thing, and make the payment. Wouldn't take you long to do that, right? You better start doing that now, because like I was explaining last week, right? Because if you're serious about trading, you better do it now. Because otherwise you're wasting your time. You're losing time and you're losing money. We have people who are literally losing money, and then they come to me and they said, hey, can you help me here? And I was like, wow, you're losing a lot of money. Where were you all the time? Well, I was watching you for the last year, but I couldn't make my mind up to take the course. Yeah, but you're losing $20,000 now. The course is only $2,500. And I'm like, that doesn't sound like a smart thing to do, right? You still believe what I do is good because you still come to me for help. It's not like you think what I'm doing is not good. You're watching me for a year and you come to help. So you still believe what I'm doing is worth it, right? That I can help you. But you didn't want to pay the $2,500 for the course, right? That sounds like not too smart. Can you reset the course when it runs again as a refresher? Yes, you once you're in the group, you get to be there all the time. You get to be there every time. You get access to everything except the practical work, because the practical work, we want the new students to have their practice, but you get to do practice with me and you can do that practice as much as you want. Here's the thing. 2 questions I get every time. Can I repeat it? You will not need to repeat it. We are hoping that you learn that stuff way before the next course starts. So you don't even need to repeat it, but you will be there. You will be in the room and you will be in that course. But you're only going to be there to pick up the bits and pieces you didn't learn in the first course, right? And the second thing is, people always say, are you going to be there to take questions from me? What if I have a question? Would I find you? And then I come in the room and I said, do you guys have questions? And there are 60 people in the room and no questions. I'm like, well, you guys were always bothering me. Would I answer your question, or would I hide from you like most other trainers do? And I'm like, no, I will answer your questions. I'm always there to answer your questions. People ask me that every time. Would we get access to you? Would we see you every day? You will see me every day. That's the whole point. I'm always in the trading room. We're always there. You get answers to your question until you don't have questions, basically. So let me go very short, 3 minutes explaining why wave analysis works and what, why it should help you in your trading. Because I think this might be the last thing I'm going to do. And then we'll do a very short review of some of the charts and then we'll go. I think the concept people have out there about wave analysis is that people are trying to count waves. We don't do that. We don't count waves. It's not about counting waves. How much waves is there to count them, right? It's about what is the chart doing? What is the market doing? That's the question. That's your question always. What is the market doing? Right? When you ask yourself that question, what you're trying to say is, can I predict the market? Can I tell what the market is going to do? And there are many people who will say it's a random market. You cannot predict it. Or it's news-based, so you will have to wait for the news to determine where the market is going to go. The first thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you that it's not news-based. I'm going to prove to you that it's not news-based. So you can share this video to anybody who tells you it's news-based. I'm going to prove to you that the market is not based on the news that is happening today. The market is bigger than the news that is happening today. The market is bigger than the US election. So the US election will have zero effect on the market in terms of structure. Can the market move during the US election? Absolutely. Does the market move during news events? Absolutely. Does that determine the structure of the market? No. Right? So I'm going to prove that first to you, and then I'm going to explain to you why that happens. So you guys pick any charts you want. This is how we do in our trading room. You pick the chart and I do the analysis. I didn't come with pre-prepared PowerPoint analysis for you, right? So I'm going to pick the chart that has the most in it. Everybody type your chart you want, and then I'm going to see the chart that first type with 3, and I'm going to go with that. Type only once. So we have oil, we have XRP, we have Aussie, we have Pound Yen. Come on. You guys are very slow in typing. We don't even have a single chart that is typed twice. We have oil twice. Go ahead. Aussie twice. Gold once, DJI. Come on, everybody type and then I will decide. We have Pound Yen twice. Go ahead. USD CAD once. Aussie 3 times. We're going to go with Aussie dollar. Like I said, the first one that gets 3 will go with. Aussie dollar has 4, we'll go with Aussie dollar. So let's pick Aussie dollar. And we will go to the monthly and I'll take everything off. If you're looking at the Aussie chart now, basically you're looking at this as a person who does not understand wave analysis, a person who does not believe in wave analysis. You believe that the news event is what moves everything, right? So if I tell you that we predicted this down move, if I tell you that we predicted this down move, it will just be me saying, hey, we did it, right? So the question is, I will have to make a forecast. I actually predicted it. You can go and check on Facebook and even on my Trading View profile that is banned, it's still there. But this is how the market actually works. The market is going to move in one direction, any direction. It's going to make a move, any direction. It's going to move in one direction. And this happens on all time frame. And then the market is going to go back into consolidation. And then it's going to move in the same direction. This is the basic element. That always happens. Now, the problem with traders is understanding this piece here. It's not understanding the movement, it's understanding that piece. And that's what we teach you, how to understand those patterns clearly. So how does that work? What really happens when that happens, right? So I have to prove to you that it works, right? I think it's easy if I start putting it like here, right? You got a movement for a direction, you got a correction, and you get it moving in the opposite direction, right? Let's take another one. Look at this one here. The market moves in a direction, it makes a correction, and then it continues in that direction. It reverses in the opposite direction. That is a reversal. It makes a correction. Now you're going to freak out. This is the correction actually. And then it moves in the same direction. You want me to show you that in the yearly chart? Anybody want to challenge me in the yearly chart? Let's go to the yearly chart. It's called FX Stop. Let's go to FX Stop. And let me show you that even on a yearly chart, you will get exactly the same thing. So let's go. USD, AUD, USD, right? AUD, USD. And the market will move in a direction. Let me click red. The market will move in a direction. It will correct itself and it will continue direction. It's going to make a correction of itself and it's going to continue that direction. The market makes one move. It will correct itself and it will come back in this direction. Pretty much that is what you have to do. Catch wave 3. Not by number, but the third wave. How many of you can catch it? It's easier said than done. Because if you don't understand what's happening in here, you don't get what's happening in the other one. And I did it in the monthly, I'll go to the 1 minute. We don't trade in the 1 minute, but I want to show you that the same thing happens on all time frame. Market moves in a direction, it corrects within that, and then it continues to move. You can look at the lower part, corrects, continue to move, corrects, continue to move, corrects, continue to move. Move in a direction, correct, continue to go. Go in an opposite direction, make a correction, continue to go. You want to put it in a 5 minutes? Let me show you does it. Do I still have to do it? Come on, guys, do I still have to do it? Market moves in a direction, makes a correction, goes in a direction, make a correction, continue, make a smaller correction, continue. Your problem is why you can't trade it is you don't know that, you don't know what's happening here. And as long as you don't know what's happening there, you can't see what I see. And if you've been following me for a year, you know you can't see it. There is a way to see that, and there's a way to understand what's happening in there, when that is going to be over and when it's going to come back. So you can go in the hourly and you can see exactly the same thing. And that's the 4 hour. This is a 4 hour chart. Market will move, all of this is the correction, so ignore that. You move in a direction, you move in a direction, you make another correction, you move, you make another correction, you move. It's pretty easy, right? You're telling yourself, well, that's easy, I can do that. So if the market is moving in one direction, what should it do? Let's go to silver. I can do it right here. I wanted to show you a good trade, but I'll stick to this one. See? What does the market does every time? It moves in one direction. It corrects itself in one other direction, then it will continue in that direction. Does anybody think you could have forecast this move to the downside or that move to the upside? Any one of you think that's real to do? Can anybody look at the chart when it's here and tell you that they're going to go down back? Do you think it's real to look at the chart here and say, you know what, I think it's going to come back to this level and then go back up? Do you think that is possible? Okay. Well, because you know why that I know that's possible. You can go check my history on TradingView, and it's there. Both of those were there. So it's possible to do, right? So that's the whole point. You can do it. Now, what we teach you to do is to understand that, to understand when the market is correcting, when you may have to look at this move as a correction, when this move is about to move, when it can move, how you should trade it if it's moving, right? If you're expecting this to happen, then what do you do? How do you look at it? Silver is a good example because silver is one that all of you are used to hear me talking about already, right? Market is correcting. Market makes a move. It's going to correct back like this. And when it corrects this deep and price action is there for you, you're looking for this one. This is a forecast now that I'm giving you. So you want to start buying some silver here and keep it until it comes there. Now, if you train yourself properly to trade, you might catch this move, and that might make you a lot of money. So you still have time to get it right. Because if you don't train yourself properly, you wouldn't get any of that. You would watch it all happen, but you wouldn't get any of it. you're going to just miss it all because you have no clue what it's doing. So basically, that's what we do. And you can make all the forecasts in this every time. On this time frame, one more down, no. On the lower time frame, one more down. If you're talking about this possibly going down one more, maybe I don't think so. Right now, I don't think so. It's within this here, you get a little move down and then go up. That's within this 1 hour chart, not within this bigger chart. I don't think it's going to do this and then go. But even if it does that and go, we have strategies. The thing about trading is that you do the analysis and then you use a specific strategy to trade. You must have a strategy by which you're going to trade, right? If you don't have a strategy, then you're in trouble, right? It's like going to war. You have to have a good army, but you have to have a strategy how you're going to fight the war. You don't just go in, right? And hey, we have the biggest army. Let's just walk in and kill all. You'll probably lose the war, right? So it's simple. You know what you have your analysis. You did the analysis, but now you have to have a strategy. How are you going to trade that? What if you're wrong, right? We always leave space, but what if we're wrong about this specific analysis? Then what do we do? How do we exit that trade? All of that is what is put into your strategy so that you don't lose your whole account on one trade. Right? That's basically what we do. So if you're in this trade with me already, you're making money, or you made money already, and you still will be making a lot more money when it starts to go. It hasn't started to move as yet. It's just getting ready to move. And when it starts to move, it's going to move really fast. Any questions? Now, why does that happen? Remember, I told you I'll show you, prove to you that it's happened. It happens, and then I'm going to tell you. You can actually see it, so I don't have to go more on that. Now, why does that happen? Why does the market behave so? It's very simple, and it's a little common sense. We don't have winter all year round. Even summer, nobody has all year round because you have rainy seasons between the summers, right? If you're living in the equator, you have rainy seasons, you have dry seasons, you have rainy seasons, you have dry seasons. Nothing could go straight all the time. Right? That's just common sense because people will get scared at some point that, hey, this thing is it's too strong. So it has to pull back. It has to stop. Right? Nobody will want to buy anymore because it's becoming too expensive. Whatever it is, doesn't matter what it is. At some point, it will have to come back. Whether it's because of manipulation, whether it's because of market thing, whether it's because of, it doesn't matter what's the cause. Don't try to look for what's the reason behind the movement because then you're going to be messing with yourself. And I'll explain that just now because one of my traders was actually asking the same question. Why, if you think that, remember I was always say buy XRP. Well, if you're going to buy XP, then the market cap will have to increase. And I was like, forget about market cap, just buy it. And if he was listening to me, he made money already, right? It's pretty much, you don't think about what needs to happen for that to happen because your brain is not that developed to do that. You don't have the capacity. If you had it, you wouldn't be here. And the second thing is you don't have the information. You don't have all the information with you to know that. So the reason as to why, forget about it. Understand what it does. And what I'm explaining is not why the market moving, and why the market does this, right? The market does this correction because here nobody will buy anymore. So the market will start to correct itself, whether somebody is manipulating it, whether somebody is willfully selling it, whether somebody is afraid and they sell it, whether when one person starts to sell, everybody panic and starts to sell, it doesn't matter, right? This always happens. That is because what they will call the market correcting itself. And there's a belief that the market always corrects itself. That's not true. It's not just the market. It could be pure manipulation. Do you think Bitcoin is manipulated? If you think so, that correction could be pure manipulation because sometimes, you know why that's not true? Because sometimes nothing happened. Absolutely, there's nothing happening that is so big sometime happening in the world to create a movement that happens. Bitcoin was going very good. What happened to Bitcoin? I don't think there was any big thing happened to Bitcoin that made it fall. It was naturally going to fall. I knew that before anything happened. I warned you guys when it was 20, when it was 18, be careful, it's going to come back. You didn't have to wait for a news event for that. Of course, one guy went and said, oh, well, the Fed said this and this person said that. That is why it was falling. No, that is not why. Because if you go back and you look at what the Fed said when it was going up, it still went up. They were saying things. People were saying bad things about Bitcoin when it was going up. But it still kept going up. But you can always say, oh, well, it's falling because they said that. But hey, those same people were saying the same thing 6 months ago, 8 months ago. And that didn't affect the price to go up, right? But now you think it's affecting the price because you want to find a reason. You want to put a reason to it. You really, really want to peg something on there because your brain cannot understand why it's coming back. And the reason it's coming back is because that's the nature of how market moves. If it's too expensive, nobody was going to buy anymore. The buyers are waiting for a cheaper price. It has to come back. Or there were manipulation, pure manipulation going on, and that drops the price lower. It could be pure manipulation. I'm not saying it is. I'm saying it could be. For me, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. You're manipulating it or you're not, it doesn't matter. I'm expecting it to come back, and then I can use the opportunity to sell it if I want, or I can use the opportunity to buy at a low price. How would I know that? I would just be looking at the structure because there was only one true information you're getting. That's the price that is in the chart. That's true information. You know how you know that information is true? Because you can actually buy at that price. You can actually confirm that that is true information because you can go and buy it at that price. You can't confirm that the news event is true because there's no way to do that, right? So basically, this is how you work. That is why it works every time. Where is silver? Look at silver in the monthly chart. It has already made a high. This wasn't the first time silver made this high. Silver made a high some 20 years or 30 or 40 years back. I can't remember exactly. The silver chart is like this. It came down for about 20-something years and it's going. Don't you think silver will probably do this for a while and then probably go back up? If you don't believe that, then you are not learning from history. This move is not the one that is going to go there. I can guarantee you that. Almost guarantee you this is not going to break the top because they need to be here for a number of years. If it was going to go like this so fast, everybody will use that opportunity. But if you're a wave trader and you know that, you don't need to get that. You need to get this piece. And then you can sell it down backwards. And then you can buy back this piece. And then you can sell it back down. And you can sell it back down. And you can keep buying and selling until it goes up. And then you will get this one up. See? So you don't have to be with that big long-term monthly chart. You can be within the 1 hour and make money because in the 1 hour, you will see that pattern I showed you there. You will see it in a one hour chart, right? You can literally see that in a 1 hour chart. See? All the ups and downs. So those are what you can trade. And if you think you're buying right here, you got to be careful because that is a point from where they can come back to this level and then go. So buying right here might be a bad idea. It's the business. In any business, it doesn't matter why something is happening or why some product is popular. Important is you ride the move. Exactly. It's more, when I say it's a business also, I mean it's your business. The way you manage your money would be business, not so much as the market. The market is business by itself. We all know that. When I said trading is a business, I mean your personal trading is a business. Your personal account is your business, not what the market is going to do. Sometimes I said you have to manage your money so you don't lose all as your business. You're a small business within the bigger business. And that's most time what I stress. The traders, be careful with that. So guys, let's go. Any questions? And then I'll look at a couple charts for you. Recommended starting balance in our trading account. Recommended broker. I don't recommend brokers because that's a tough thing to do. I don't know much about them, so I don't recommend. I can tell you they all have their ups and their downs and their goods and their bad. You will have to choose that. I can tell you what are the basis for me to choose broker when people who I trade for ask me. So when my investor asked me what broker to use, I said, okay, this is what you need to know. The number one thing you need to know is you will have to have somebody that if you put your money in there, that broker doesn't get bankrupt. So you want the broker that is heavy capitalized. And there are a few brokers like that where capital is not their problem. Now, they may charge a little more than a broker who is telling you, like one of my trader, he showed me his account where he was losing. I wouldn't use his name because the name is not important. It was important. He was trading 1 to 1,000. When I saw that, I almost like, oh, holy Christmas. Which broker gives you that? If a broker is giving you 1 to 1,000, run from him. What he's saying to you is, give me your money, I'll take it. If you trade with something like that, you're gonna lose your account. What the broker is saying is, to every dollar you give me, I give you $1,000 to trade with. Now you may not use it if you want, but you know it's what he's gonna do. If you think you have that much money, you may start spending it. You may start using it. Traders start using that. They're amazed that they can buy a standard lot, you know, with just a couple $100 because they got 1,000 times it. And they do that, and then they lose their account, and then they wonder what happened. And I was like, well, you actually don't know what you're doing, basically, when you do that, right? So I don't recommend brokers. I just go for a broker that is secure in terms of capital. All the rest is 1 or 2 pip more on the spread. It's basic stuff. It doesn't matter. Whether your broker is going to keep your trade or send it through, you will never know. Unless you're inside. Unless you have somebody inside telling you, you will never know. So it's a waste of time. If you're trading good, it doesn't matter whether he keeps your trade. And keep it. If you're trading good, that's his problem, not your problem. Do you do the Elliott wave counting? We count, but not the Elliott wave counting. We teach you to count the way we count. It's similar but different. Something you will learn when you join the course. We don't look at the wave only as religiously counting, right? I see a lot of traders do that. Well, I count, and they count, and they count, and you look at all the charts, and they just keep counting and recounting and recounting and counting and recounting. It's a waste of time, right? It's pretty much a waste of time. You can go back and take one of them for 6 months and look at what they did. You'll see for yourself that it's a big waste of time. It does not really help you very much. How much capital do you need to start? Well, that always be dependent how much money you need. First, how much money you need to make, and then. But I wouldn't recommend, if you don't have an extra $5,000 in your pocket, don't try to be a trader, because it's not going to work. Right? The stats are showing you this work. You don't have to ask me. Go look for the stats on any one of the broker. How many traders with less than $1,000 making money in their thing? And you will see that it's zero. Maybe 1 or 2 exception. Right? It doesn't work that way. It wouldn't work. If it was working, then everybody would just stop doing what they're doing and go trade. Right? Because a lot of people have $1,000 to do work. So you're not going to win that way. Right? You're not going to beat the market that way. The market will get you that way. So, people go with $100 and dream that they could become very successful. It's not going to happen, guys. I don't know how much time I've stressed that, and a few people have come and make comments like, "Hey, I know this guy who made it, and I know that guy." I'm like, well, okay. If you know somebody, that's great. I don't know anybody who has done that with $100. Right? It's not possible. And then let's say you double $100 in 6 months. You just made $100 in 6 months. Why don't you just go get a job? You will make more money, right? If you double $1,000 in a year, then that's just how about less than $100 a month? Go get a job. You make more money. You probably get $1,000 a month in a good job. Right? Depends on where you are. So rather than do trading for your living, if you're going there, just go get a job. You work much more money. So the idea about trading is that you have extra capital, and you would like to use that extra capital to make some more money. That's the whole point. So you have to have the extra capital first. It's like, if you want to buy something, if you want to open a restaurant, if you want to open a new business, you have to have the capital first. If you don't have the capital, you don't just sit and say, "Hey, how about I go open a first-class restaurant tomorrow?" And then he said, "Yeah, that's a good idea. Where should I get the money from?" I go borrow from the bank 1,000 to 1. I go with the bank, give them $100, and they give me 100,000. Not 100, not they give me my 1,000. They give me $1 million. 1,000 multiplied by 1,000 is $1 million, and I'll go open the restaurant. They will not give you in the first place. No bank will give you that credit. So if they're not going to give you it for a restaurant, but they're giving you 1,000 to 1 to trade with, they probably know what they're doing. They will not even give you 100 to 1 to open another business, but they will give you 100 to 1 to trade with, right? It means they know something you don't know. That is why they would risk that much to giving you, right? So you don't have to use that much. Even if they give it, you don't have to use it, right? You should use less than 100 to 1. You should never use. What you need to look at is your equity. That you have when you're trading. Don't use up the whole equity. Make sure you're using just a percentage, a very small percentage. And if you good risk management, good money management, you wouldn't have to worry about the how much the broker is giving you. Right? You don't have to use it. He can give you 2,000 to 1. You just wouldn't use it. But most traders, when they get it, they tend to use it. The catch is in, if you get it and you can't control what you're doing, you will use it. So better not to have it. There's a reason why in the US they limited, I think, to 50 to 1, right? Because people try to use all of that and they lose all their money. It's actually a protection for traders. Most retail traders don't know it, but it's a protection for them. In some way, yes. Most of them will, well, if not most, 90% of them will lose their money that way. So, okay, guys, any more questions? Let's take some questions. You guys are probably waiting for a free charts update. Let's see. Silver. Silver is a good update. If you're going to buy silver, right? If you're going to put an entry order here to buy, you got to be very careful because you will have to calculate your risk to zero. Let me go back again because there's a very good chance that silver could come back all the way to this level before they go up. One of the patterns that we have seen showed that that is possible, right? Of the numerous patterns we know, one of them says that's possible. In Europe, it's 30 to 1. So that's to protect you, Vic, and everybody else in Europe, right? XRP, let me show you XRP because you're looking at that. Yes, come back to the cap on XRP too, right? You just have to look at the chart. It will tell you what it's going to do. We did that. Oh, where is it? Okay, we're up there. Good. Okay. We showed you the pattern and we tell you it's going to come out of here to the upside, right? There was no question. It's consolidating. It's probably going to go up more. Wait for the consolidation and then buy again. Oil. Depends on which direction the consolidation is going to give you. You notice I have a line there, right? If structurally changed for downside, you will get a sell somewhere below that line. Oil, US oil, let's see. US oil is making a big running flat, so you might start getting buy setups very soon. If you look at it in the daily, remember we told you when it was going up that you can't have this one move down. They will have to come up here and go back down. Well, they did that. So there's an up move coming in the US oil, right? There's an up move coming very soon, somewhere from around this area here. Maybe it's already started. As long as they broke that low, that up move is ready to go. So there's an up move coming. It could come anytime. Start looking for buy setups if you understand how to get those buy setups. Don't buy it right here. That's not a setup. Peng Yen. Let's look at Peng Yen. Peng Yen is a weird one. It had a daily pattern we couldn't figure out, and we figured out the downside for the sell. Like these, that sell we got, that sell was not a problem, but this up move was a little tricky. I didn't think they were going to go that much up, and it's not fitting in within the move that we're looking at. If you remember when it was here, I told you guys, we saw this coming, that was great. We saw this coming, that was okay. We saw this piece coming up here, that was okay. But then this piece didn't fit in from what we know. That doesn't fit in the patterns we know. And then it started to do this. Well, we think we got that correct until it drops top here. And that doesn't, none of it doesn't fit in. It's not the perfect pattern. You could still go with this as a running flat, but it's not a perfect one. So if this is going to go up one more, I would wait for them to make a 4-hour consolidation here and then start trading it up. Unless you get a 4-hour consolidation, it doesn't make sense. You're going to get yourself in trouble. All right, so this one is a little. What we were thinking is that it would come all the way to this low here, and then go up. That would be the perfect running flat pattern that we know, right? It could come short. Remember, coming short doesn't mean it can't happen. It can happen, but they're rare. They're rare when they don't come and tag. Those are rare times. So when they happen like that, I wait for an extra confirmation. Right? We saw the buy coming. We took the buy, but we weren't looking for the buy to come up so high. We saw the buy coming, probably this piece going up to like probably breaking this top. That was the trade, and then go down from there. And then just keep going up. So let's see what happens when they come here. Right? If they make a 4-hour correction, it will be total upside after that. Let's see. Turkish lira. Let's see what that is saying. Turkish lira is in the downside. It's going to probably continue to go somewhere. But after that, you should get at least one more move up. Right? So this one kind of get it. Remember I said they will consolidate and go. You can see this here. That's kind of like a B wave. You got an impulse. You got a correction, and then you go. And then you start to go the opposite direction. Right? So now you're going to look for this to come, this to turn anytime soon for one more impulse to the upside. My equity chart, no, because I trade for investors, not for myself. And you can't trade the way I trade, not in terms of good or bad. The way I trade is different from the way my traders trade. So you can look at 60% success with my traders. That would make more sense to you, because I trade volume and I trade differently. I don't use stops in my trade, but my traders have to use stops. They all have to use stops. That's not an if. Not using stop is very dangerous. I can tell you from my own trading, but I still do it because of the way I'm trading and what I'm trading for. You follow? Let's go. Anything else? Cadian, let's go Cadian. Cadian should be here. Cadian, we were expecting more up. Same pattern. We show you this pattern also. Right? When this was going up, we wanted to break the top and then come back. Well, it did that, and we're looking at the pattern more as a running flat here too. So we think this should come back here. Same thing like if you look at the yen, the Peng yen, we have the same pattern. The Peng yen stopped short here and it's going back down, right? The Peng yen is an upside down. If you turn around the pattern, you're going to see, right? So the Peng yen is coming like this, up move there, give you the consolidation here, drop here, go back there, and now it come like this and go, right? This is the Peng yen. It stopped short here and is going up. This one, we will see whether this stopped short here and come back down. But I'm expecting it to go break this stop at least from somewhere there, right? So if you go back in the 4 hour and you look at it, it's going sideways right now, which is good for us. When you're a trader and you see those sideways move, you're always happy. When you see it going sideways like this, that's good for you. Because now you know there's one more up move coming. See that? Go to the 1 hour. And you can see that sideways. So as long as it keeps going sideways like that, it has to break out, and then you can look for your trade setup based on the strategy you're using to trade that. Peng New Zealand, Peng Oz. Okay, we'll do about 3-4 more and then we'll go. So Peng New Zealand, Peng Oz, and Platinum. We'll stick to those 3. Because they're the same thing I did in the webinar. It hasn't changed, right? Pound New Zealand, I think this one is going to go back. We saw this, so this downside is normal, but we were expecting this pattern. I don't think it's completed. So I think they may go back here and then come down. But if they do consolidate, if you see this consolidation in here rather than upside, take the sell. It means there was a contracting flat here and that was the end of their move, right? So that's a little complicated pattern for you. On Peng Oz, let's see, that was Peng New Zealand, Peng Oz. Peng Oz, look for downside. We already have it. I think you even can see the chart. Anywhere you get a flag, go 60 minutes flag, go for the sell. It could still go one more up, but once it breaks here and make a flag, you go for the sell, right? Peng Oz is a downtrend, and you're expecting that to go much more downside. See? Expecting that to come all the way here, maybe even lower. So keep your eyes on that one. Peng could fall, Aussie could go up. Let's do Platinum, and then I'll answer the question which time frame is better to trade. So let's look at XPT. Platinum upside, it's still going up, up. You be careful here. You're getting a correction. You're getting a consolidation here. So this might come back a little before it goes. Just be aware of that possibility. Which time frame is better to look for setups? The time frame depends on your ability to handle risk. So if you're trading on a weekly chart or a daily chart, a setup will take you months to happen, and you're going to get pretty big moves. So you have to be an investor to do that. If you're trading in the 4-hour charts, that means you're probably working. You can look at the charts only once a day. So your trade will kick in probably once every 2 weeks or so. You may get a proper trade to trade, but then it's going to go for a couple months. If you're actually trading as a day trader, you want to trade in the 60 minutes chart, because 15 minutes and 60 minutes depends on your skills. How much basic knowledge should one have to join the group? I don't know how much, but you need to know all the basic terminologies. You need to know the basic patterns that exist, which means you have read the book already. You know the names of the patterns. You know basic stuff like whatever is used in the basic language of trading. If you know that, that's okay. The rest we teach you, because we don't stop to do all of that. All of that you can get. It's free. You can go to bidpip.com and learn all those stuff, basically, right? So when we're talking in the group, you understand everything we say, because we're using the language that is used there, the terminologies that we use here. People who have just started to trade on Monday, so they may not know all that stuff. Take them a while to learn it. Those are the basic knowledge you need. Okay, guys, I think you all have an idea what to do. So it's about an hour, so I'll call it off there. I'll stop the recording, and I'll see all of you. Have a good week. Trade with care. And if you're interested, send me a message. I see some messages already come in, right? While the phone was beeping while I was actually on. So I'll send you the info. Thank you for coming. All of you have a good week ahead of you. Trade with care, right? Always remember, whether or not you take the course, trade with care. Thank you for coming. Bye-bye.